All right, I'm Blake back at Antidote Outdoors. Today we are going to be installing the truck bed ladder racks. This is our heavy duty adjustable style. It's going to mount onto this beautiful beast, the 2500 HD. So let's get into it. All right, so let's see what we got inside the boxes here. So our truck bed ladder racks do come with the side beams. I know some of our competitors do not. We like to include that. We think it's going to make the structure much more secure, strong, and stable when you're off-roading and doing crazy stuff. Inside the main box, you'll have the towers, the crossbars, the hardware, all the things you're going to basically need to mount. Tools are included. Come take a close up and see how everything's packaged, nice and secured in here. So everything. All right, we have everything unboxed here. So let's take a brief look and see what we got. So over here we have our footings. Pretty self-explanatory. These are going to go on the bed rail. In between this and the bed, you will have some rubber gaskets to make everything nice and sticky and less vibration and noise and such like that. So that will go in there. You have the towers, of course, the two crossbars. For the crossbars, you'll also get a pair of gaskets for the top to reduce wind noise and add additional grip when you mount things to it. The clamps, these are going to be for most vehicles that don't have a track system built in, similar to like the Toyota Tacomas and stuff. So these are going to be in the package already. These are the end caps for the crossbars. As you can see, they all come with these red accent pieces, which do make everything pop. But they do come with the black accent pieces, so you are able to swap them out, which you'll see us do here in a minute. And that's going to make everything look nice and midnight style, night rider, whatever you want to call it. And then the packages of hardware, everything is going to be nicely labeled, 8x18 screw, 18 of those, such like that. So everything's organized, bag of tools. So everything you need to install it is going to come inside the box. Okay, here we are. We have our towers. What we're going to do is switch out these red accent pieces for these black accent pieces. A lot of our customers like the red, but the black does give it that cool look. So first thing you want to do is grab your Allen wrench. Only loosen these bolts. There's no need to completely take them out. And if you do, it may take more time than it needs to because there are plates holding everything together. So you don't want to drop the plates down the tower or you'll have to kind of fish them out. So everything's nice and loose. As you see, it comes right out once you get that nice and loose. So put this to the side. We're going to get this accent piece off. I even like to kind of just tighten these so nothing gets lost. Just hand tighten. Okay, so grab the small Allen wrench. These ones do have 2 bolts. All right, now that we got the small bolts off, pop your cap off. Go ahead and swap it for the black one. These ones are a little snug here. Okay. And go ahead and put your bolt in here. All right, here we are. First thing you'll want to do is get your footings, your gaskets, 2 clamps, 8x30 regular bolts. Make sure you get the locking washers and 2 locking nuts, as well as the 4 T-bolts. First, you'll grab the T-bolts and drop them into these slots in each of these sections. They'll drop right into place. Then grab your gasket. Go ahead and throw your gasket over that. Make sure all the little pegs are where they need to be. And then what you want to do is Let me hop up here for a second. Okay, so here we go. Those are all good. See, we got our tape measure out already. That's good. So put that on there. So I measured the other side. We had it at 4 3/4. So we're gonna put it at 4 3/4 from where I'm measured from. Okay. Grab your clamps and your hardware. Okay. So underneath you will have some tabs and such like that holding your bed liner on. Just try to avoid those. You do get plenty of options. There's 3 options for each bolt, so avoid those. On this one I had it. Make sure we get it all even. Okay. So, drop it right there. I'm sorry. Rewind. Locking washer, bolt, and then drop it down like so. Grab your clamp like so. As you can see, it reaches, but if you have a big truck like this one, you have these 1.5 or so bed rails, what we like to do is throw in some of these M8 nuts in there as a spacer. That will just help the clamp stay nice and level. Oops. So get that snug on there real fast. There we go. Clamp. Right there. Grab your locking nut. Go ahead and get that on there. Okay, let's get that nice and snug. All right, we are going to repeat that process on this side. Make sure you're using the same holes as you are on the other side so everything's nice and even. So we're going to show you now how to put the tower onto the footing. Pretty self-explanatory. Once you have the bolts setting, you can kind of just set this there. First, what you're going to want to do is big washer. Then you're going to want to do locking washer, and then a locking nut. Let's skip that one. Like that. Crank that one down. Then we're going to put an acorn or a top nut on that just to block the threads. Set one over here just to kind of set everything in place. That. Walk away, go grab my tools. This one down. I like to set the bolt in the furthest most section of the slot rather than the inside. I just feel like it sits better right there. Okay, once you get that on, you'll put your acorn nut on there, like so. Get that nice little snug. Repeat that process a few more times, and then we'll get the crossbar going. All right, next, now that we have the towers mounted to our boots, we're going to adjust the height of our tower so that our crossbar sits where we want it. For this truck, we are going to set it just about level with the cab. That way, if there's anything large that needs to hang over, there's no issues with that. So first, what you want to do is loosen some of these bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the other side. Don't take them completely out because the plates inside will slide down. You don't want that to happen. So just give it a couple twists, about half a turn or so of each, and this should rise. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. So we have the other ones at 15 and a quarter. So we're gonna set it right there. Crank this one down. And then now that we have that one crank down just to hold it, what we're gonna do is Loctite these bolts. We like to use Loctite because your car is gonna be vibrating and going down the road and rattling things. So Loctite is just gonna help prevent anything from rattling loose. So we recommend doing that. I'll show you how to do that if you've never done that before. Everyone should really have this in their toolbox. So it's the Blue 242. That's what it's called, Loctite. It's a removable thread locker. So grab yourself a rag if you can. So we're going to do one bolt at a time so that the plate doesn't fall. So just a very small amount like that. Now it's going to seep into the threads and then just replace it. We'll crank that one down and then we'll move to the next one. Then we'll do this one and then the other sides. For this one, what you want to do is put a bolt down here to hold that plate as you remove this one, because there's only one bolt holding that plate. So we'll insert a bolt there, release this bolt, pull Loctite on it, and put it back. And then of course take that bolt out until we need to put it back. So we have the crossbar here. I'm going to show you how to properly set up and install it. So you have your gasket. Has a little channel system, so this is going to slide into the track like so. Just feed it through. You are going to need some space to put the end cap on. So what you'll want to do is grab a pair of scissors or a knife. Okay, now that we got the gasket all set, cut to the length that we need it, before we put our end caps on, make sure you put your track plates. These are in the 8x18 screw bag. So one's going to be for this side, one for the other side. You can go ahead and slide them both in here, no problem. We'll put the end cap on next. One side has the hex, so that is going to be the side where the 8-coin nut will sit. And then you'll grab your M6 by 50 millimeter bolt, drop that down through there. And slide down. You want to this side because of the hex. Hold it in place. Wow. Repeat that process one more time on the other side, and then I'll show you how to mount this onto the truck rack. All right, now that we got everything situated for the crossbar, the two plates, slide one to each side. Go ahead and set this in here. You'll want to measure the distance out to get a nice equal spacing, but we'll work on one at a time. So we measured those ones out to about 2.5 inches or so. So you'll grab your M8x18 bolts, bolt, locking washer, regular washer. That's the way to do it. Up and under. Make sure your plate is lined up. Like so. Usually I start on the inside, it's a little easier. Okay, there you go. All right, then we'll get this next one, then we'll work on the other side. It's the same process. At this point of the install, you're gonna wanna put these bolts into the clamps, get them nice and snug before you do anything else so that everything stays secure. Go ahead and put some Loctite on the end of that. Just through there. Crank this down nice and snug. Boom. That clamps on there. Repeat that process another 7 times, and then we'll follow to the next step. All right, so next is going to be the side beams. We got the towers, the boots, all that stuff set up, the crossbars to the height that we want them at. They're the same height, of course. So this is the side beam. It does have 2 sides. As you can see, there's no track system. So you can orient this however you like. We typically put the track system on the outside, so the things you mount will be on the outside. However, if you want them to be on the inside, for whatever reason, you could do that. This piece is gonna move around. So if you have something that doesn't only fit on this part, but needs some extra space to mount, you can move this to where you need to, tighten it down, throw your T-bolt or T-nut in there, and get that all secure. So let's get this down here. Grab a friend to help hold it in place. Pull it nice and snug. Okay, so you're gonna grab your M8 by 18 bolts, just a regular washer, no locking washer, but make sure you add some Loctite to these ones. Go ahead, in there. Okay, so if for whatever reason it doesn't line up, it's because the plates is a little crooked. Go ahead and straighten it out and try it again. There we go. Okay, down and tight. Like so. Do that on all 4 of them. Get them nice and tight. Then we'll adjust this to where we want it. Loctite all the bolts behind it, holding everything nice and tight. And then we'll go through it and do a quick review of everything afterwards, but let's get this finished real fast. All right, here we are. Finished product. Looks pretty darn good to me. Don't forget to do the shake test. Solid.